So last night I wrote credits on Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and honestly, I thought the game was actually really good. I've been seeing some mixed reviews online. I haven't seen anybody say that the game is like overly terrible or overly fantastic either. I've seen people kind of leaning in the middle slash slightly negative towards it, but the negativity that I'm seeing is more so directed towards the story aspect of it, and that the story is kind of bland, more so in the sense of that like no major plot twist happened. And I'm kind of confused because it was confirmed several times over that this game was fully canon to Tears of the Kingdom. So maybe people went into it not realizing that, because if you did know that information, I don't see how you could play the game and be disappointed that no major plot twist happened, because in terms of all the major really big points that happened in the story, we already got those in Tears of the Kingdom, and this game was just serving the purpose of like fledging out that story that we already knew all of like the major plot points of. But that's besides the point. Those what other people were saying. But I tried not to listen to too many reviews. I only listened to about one or two from a couple of people's channels that I like, that didn't really go into the mechanics of it as much, but just general like kind of circling around what they thought about the game. But I wanted to go into it for myself and not have too many expectations set, which honestly, I don't know how realistic that is, even because I have played Warrior games before, the Hyrule Warriors games to be specific, and you kind of know what to expect. It's a hack and slash. Legitimately, the only reason I picked up this game is because it was a canon story to Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm a massive Zelda fan, and I'm always going to like getting more Zelda content. So that's the reason why I picked up this game so early. But yeah, the game itself I really thought was fun. I think that the Warriors gameplay style actually really makes sense for this type of story, because it's a legitimate all-out war for Hyrule. I thought the same thing when Age of Calamity came out. I was like, oh, that's actually a really cool spin-off title idea, because it makes sense that they would be like fighting through hordes of monsters, because canonically Ganon, for Age of Calamity, Calamity Ganon like spawned an army to take over Hyrule, and it's like more so like much the same thing in Tears of the Kingdom, where this dude is just like, we see in Tears of the Kingdom that he was basically just spawning infinite monster hordes to take over the kingdom. So running through the camps and just like slashing and hacking through like hundreds if not thousands of enemies is like really entertaining in short bursts, and I feel like the story for this game honestly was really good in terms of its time frame. I think I put around 10 to 12 hours into the game. Quick side note, I do that like every video. I don't know how anybody has 100%ed this game yet. Like, how do you 100% a Warriors game that came out just a handful of days ago? That's insane to me. Like, you have a lot of time on your hands, and I'm envious of you, because I would love to have that much time on my hands. I don't care about the Warriors gameplay enough so 100% it, but just the fact that you did that is actually really impressive and a little bit insane. I'm like, there's so many random things to do, like probably hundreds, and you like 100% completion videos came out like 2 days after the game came out. So that's crazy to me, but I digress. The length of the story I feel like did not overstay its welcome at all, and that is a really good thing. I never got tired of playing this game, and honestly, this is the first game that I've personally binged in quite some time. But I'm a huge Zelda fan, so I was really excited to just kind of see them fill in all of the gaps that we got in Tears of the Kingdom. And, you know, with Tears of the Kingdom itself, like, that story was kind of disappointing in a lot of different aspects, but for the story that we actually got, I thought it was good. It's just the fact that, you know, the whole tier system, and you're seeing the story out of order if you don't follow the tiers in order, and that was more so my bigger issue with it. I could kind of understand why we didn't see so much of the past stuff, because we weren't playing in the past. They still could have showed more than what they did in the original game, but I could kind of understand why it was a little bit more fragmented. My biggest problem with that game is, like I said, the tier system, because it just didn't translate over well. Like, that format combat wasn't as good with Tears of the Kingdom as I was with Breath of the Wild, because in Breath of the Wild it made more sense because Link had amnesia. But that and the fact that after major plot revelations are revealed, Link just doesn't relay the information to anyone except for like Pura at like the very end. But like, you know, like he doesn't have any reactions, and I'm like, why is he so stoic? Like, I know Link doesn't talk, but we've seen him be expressive before in this series and in previous installments. So it's not like he just doesn't react to things. But again, that's some of my initial gripes. That's some of my main gripes with Tears of the Kingdom story. But for this game in particular, I thought they did a very good job at telling and filling in the gaps. The Knight construct was a really cool addition. I thought it was very clever how they basically implemented a Link-like character without actually having Link. My initial theory before the game came out, I thought they were somehow going to contact Link in the future and like put him into some sort of like induced coma that like brought him back to the past. Legitimately, I thought they were going to do like a Days of Future Past storyline with the X-Men where they sent Wolverine back in time mentally, but physically he was still in the present. I thought that's what the route that they were going to go down, but they did it a little bit differently with the whole Shard of the Master Sword thing going back into the past with Zelda. I thought it made sense. I was like, okay, that was a really creative way to basically get Link in the game without Link being in the game. But yeah, I really enjoyed his addition. I really enjoyed the addition of that character to the story. I thought it was really cool. I thought it would have been a little bit more cool with like the Days of Future Past kind of way that they did it, but I wasn't mad at the Master Sword Shard thing at all. Another way I thought they might have done it was like probably bring another Link from like, because like, I don't know, it's been like thousands of years across the Zelda timeline. So I thought maybe they were going to do something really cool and just have it be like a different Link or something like that. But I could see why that'd be a lot more messy. But yeah, overall, the game was really fun. Like if you're, I don't know if anybody's gonna actually see this video, but if you're a Zelda fan, if you're particularly a Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom fan, and you want to see the story a bit more fleshed out, or a lot more fleshed out actually, then I would pick it up. I thought it was a very fun game. If I'm being honest, it wasn't totally worth $70, but it's not gonna go down in price because it's a Nintendo game, so do with that what you will. But yeah, I think this scratched my hack and slash itch. Legitimately, I only buy hack and slash games like once every 5 years because I'm just not like for me, it's like if you play one hack and slash, you played a lot of them. I won't say all of them because sometimes they implement different things, but for me personally, hack and slash is as a genre I only play like once every 5 years, which is hilarious because I've only played the Hyrule Warriors games. I haven't played like any of the Dynasty Warriors ones, so I literally played the original Hyrule Warriors, and then like 5 years later I played Age of Calamity, and then like 5 years now after that I played Age of Imprisonment. So I'm sticking to my 5-year rule by like, it's literally in terms of release of Hyrule Warriors games. So there's that. But yeah, really fun story. So I would recommend playing through it. If you don't like the gameplay style, then this, I don't know, I guess watch the cutscenes online or whatever. But I thought it was fun to play through and actually be involved in the war that leads up to Tears of the Kingdom. And this game basically bled me right back into a Tears of the Kingdom playthrough. I started a second playthrough like 2 months ago, and then I put the game down just because I was playing other stuff. But no, pretty much right after credits rolled, I was like, I want to go play Tears of the Kingdom now. So now I'm going to be playing through that again because this game really filled out the Tears of the Kingdom story a lot more. It kind of sucks that we had to pay for a second game to get a full complete story. Like, that's kind of lame, but again, I'm a little more forgiving of it because the gameplay style of the Warriors series really does fit with the theme of an all-out war for the kingdom. Last thing I'll say before I end this video, I find it very interesting that like the implications on how freaking overpowered and strong Link is in this game. Like, it took an entire army fighting Ganondorf's army to like to not take over Hyrule. Like, it's literally hundreds of thousands of soldiers versus hundreds of thousands of soldiers. And the war technically ends in a stalemate. Like, even the one-on-one that they had with Ganondorf, like it took several of these major characters and generals to bring down like one Lionel. It would technically take several characters to bring down one Hinox, or like the Bokoblin captains and stuff like that. Even in the final fight where it's all of the sages and Rauru against Ganondorf, I'm like, it took 7 people to jump Ganondorf into a stalemate. They didn't even win. They jumped that man into a stalemate, and then even then, he was still technically winning. That's why Rauru sacrificed himself and just froze Ganondorf in time for like thousands of years. So for them to struggle that hard against Ganondorf and his army, and Link solos all of them. Link solos all of the foot soldiers. Link solos Hinoxes and Lionels, and he literally 1v1s Ganondorf and wins. I'm just like the implying, I don't even know if it's implying, or if no, it's just straight up showing how freaking overpowered Link is to be able to 1v1 all of these enemies is just, I don't know, that's just really funny to me. I'm like, Link is a madman with a sword, because it took 7 mythical magic power user people to freaking put Ganondorf in a stalemate, and this dude just shows up and like 1v1s him in 10 minutes. So I thought that was really funny, and like just kind of like a you know, Link is strong, but it's just like that really puts it into perspective. But I digress. I'm going to start rambling. I just wanted to yap about my initial thoughts on the game, and I thought it was fun. So yeah, you know what I forgot to mention while I was recording that video initially? I had to insert this here. I guess I didn't even need to give that disclaimer. I could just edit it right in. Another thing that's really cool about this game are the hand clap team ups, because, you know, the whole theme of Tears of the Kingdom, the developer said, was around like hands, like being connected by hands and stuff like that. So whenever whenever you do your special like team up abilities in this game, the characters clap hands, which I thought is like a really cool visual and just like concept as a whole. It really just reinforces that idea of togetherism, if that's a word, and camaraderie, and basically taking on the challenge together. They also look freaking dope, and they're really cool. There's some that are a little bit of misses, but overall I really like the little, you know, team takedowns and stuff like that. Another thing, can we please get this version of Zelda in the next Smash Bros game? I think this Zelda is way more deserving of a spot in Smash Bros than the current one that we get. Like, because right now we kind of get like that Twilight Princess slash, I don't want to say the generic Zelda, because that's not entirely true, because before it was like Ocarina of Time Zelda, then Twilight Princess Zelda, which made sense. But like, this Zelda needs to have her own character slot in the next Smash Bros game, because she's a freaking beast. Like, she is hooking in this game. Just straight up, she's hooking in this game. So it would actually be a shame if we don't get some representation from her in the next Smash Bros game. Not saying they have to replace the current Zelda, because you know how that works in Smash Bros. There's 80 something character slots, so there's definitely room for her to be in it. But I really want to see that, because I would probably play as her. She was a really good character in this game, and her moveset was freaking awesome. So I really hope that they implement that as well. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe today to become a +1. And also, if you're playing Hyrule Warriors, if you're playing Age of Imprisonment, let me know what your opinions were on the game. Were you happy with the story, or were you satisfied or dissatisfied, or are you somewhere in the middle? Like I said, I thought it was pretty good, but I'd like to hear other people's input on it as well. And yeah, until next time, God bless.